Grand Theft Auto Online has been out for 10 years. There's over 700 vehicles in the game, and today I'm going to take the impossible task on of ranking the top 5 vehicles in this game. This is going to be a facts-based argument. I'm going to try to keep as much of my personal opinions and bias out of it. That way I can give you guys a clear picture as to what's worth your money. In order to get the most accurate top 5 possible, I wanted to take into account a few different attributes from each of these vehicles. These attributes being speed, looks, handling, defensive capabilities, offensive capabilities, and overall general utility. For my veterans, if you have any disagreements about some of the vehicles that I select here or what position I place them in, feel free to leave a comment letting me know. I'm happy to hear you guys' opinions, and I know that mine are not going to be the same as everybody else's. All right, enough chit chat. Let's get right into it. We're going to talk about the 5th vehicle on our list. This is going to be the Vigilante. Now, the Vigilante is one of the most fun vehicles to use in this entire game. It obviously looks a lot like the Batman car, but it goes way further than just that. This one has a booster that recharges every 3 seconds, and it is absolutely nuts. I mean, just look at how fast you can get going. Definitely one of the fastest vehicles in the game in a straight line if you're utilizing that boost consistently. And if you're creative, you can kind of start to utilize the boost to move yourself up into the air where you can really become a threat. This vehicle also comes standard with some of the best missiles in the entire game. There's only a few vehicles that have missiles that have better tracking than this one, but this is definitely up there with the top. So it's one of the fastest vehicles in the game. It's got incredible tracking on the missiles. It looks really cool. What is holding this vehicle back though? There's a few things that keep this vehicle from being number 1 on the list. The first is going to be the price. It is going to be at $3.75 million. Can't be customized at LS Custom, so you are going to have either an MOC, an Avenger, or the Arena Workshop in order to be able to make any changes to the way this vehicle looks. However, the biggest issue with this one is that it can only survive 1 rocket. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, I'm super fast, I can just dodge everybody else's rockets. But it's not even just worrying about other people's rockets, it's your own rockets. Since they come out from a low position on the vehicle, it's very easy for you to accidentally blow yourself up. For those reasons, this vehicle is an incredible purchase and one that's definitely worth your money. However, it is going to be number 5 on today's list. Number 4 on today's list is going to be the Toreador. The Toreador is one of the best vehicles available in this game. If this is my personal favorite list, it would be a little bit higher, but it has a lot of really strong qualities. First up, it does have a booster very similar to what we saw with the Vigilante, not quite as powerful, but still very good. While the styling is not quite as iconic as what we see on the Batman car, this is still a really nice looking vehicle, and I appreciate that they have kind of this little like window hole right here, which makes a lot of sense once you find out this vehicle is also aquatic. Yes, this vehicle can go underwater and has just as much capability underwater as it does above water. We talked a little bit about rockets when we talked about the Vigilante. This vehicle has very similar rockets to what you're going to see on the Vigilante. However, it's got an unlimited number of rockets, and the rockets also function underwater as torpedoes. Last but not least, this vehicle does also have some armor. It has the ability to take 2 RPGs, and it can also take 6 homing rockets. Now let's talk about some of the cons of this vehicle. First of all, you're going to be looking at a $4.2 million price tag. This vehicle also does not have the best handling. You can do some drifting by utilizing the boost, but this really does leave you vulnerable. This vehicle is also a little bit lightweight, so after you get hit by the first homing rocket, it is a good chance you're going to be flipped over and in a position where they can hit you with more rockets. All these factors combined together create a vehicle that is absolutely worth your money, one that you should definitely go out there and buy, especially if you're going to be doing some damage in public lobbies. I think things like defense, handling, looks, speed, all of those are a little bit more important for the overall general player base. That being said, walking right into number 3, we're talking about the Omnis EGT. As much of an electric car hater as I like to be, this is one that cannot be denied. One of the best vehicles in this game, bar none. Not only is it, in my opinion, the best looking electric car in this game, it's got the super fast acceleration like most electric vehicles, but the thing that's the most special about it is its unique Imani Tech capabilities. Imani Tech upgrades are available through the agency, and they can provide you things like a remote control unit, missile lock-on jammer, and then also body armor for a lot of these vehicles. This body armor and the missile lock jammer allows these vehicles to make you 1,000 times harder to take out in a public session. However, the Omnis EGT takes the Imani Tech to another level because it has extra resistance against rockets. The Omnis EGT can take 12 RPGs and sticky bombs compared to the 4 RPG/sticky bombs that the regular Imani Tech vehicles can take. Like the regular Imani Tech vehicles, it does take 12 homing rockets. So at this point, you're probably sold, but let me walk it back just a little bit and give you some of the negatives for this vehicle. Negative number one, this thing handles like a brick. It's got really good acceleration, which is great because you're going to crash a lot. You're going to need to accelerate out of those crashes very often. The other downside is that, like, unlike some of the other Imani Tech vehicles, this one does not have bulletproof windows. So if you're in the most common type of lobby most people are in, which is an auto assist aim lobby, somebody's going to blast you out of this vehicle in 2 seconds. No problem. The last negative is the worst one. It's electric. Electric cars are lame. Just kidding. Sorta. Coming in at number 2, we have a vehicle that I think a lot of you are going to expect to be in the number 1 slot. We are talking about the Italy GTO Stinger TT. Now, this vehicle has a lot of things going for it. It's an absolute banger for a lot of different reasons. This is, I believe, the only vehicle in the game that has access to both HSW and also Imani Tech upgrades. So you're spending a lot of money to get this vehicle together. Now, this one does have the standard Imani Tech, so it's going to be able to take 4 RPGs and 12 homing rockets. And like the Omnis EGT, it also does not have the bulletproof windows. However, for my next gen folks, when you add that HSW upgrade in, this vehicle becomes ridiculous. It's got the highest flat ground top speed in the entire game. Pretty nice acceleration as well, so it doesn't take all day to get there. So when you combine the speed of this vehicle plus the Imani Tech, there's no reason it shouldn't be the number 1 car in the game, right? Well, honestly, I think between this one and my number 1, you're gonna be splitting hairs a little bit, but the biggest downsides of this one is that it's got pretty bad handling. And the biggest thing for me is that it only really shows its full potential on next-gen systems. If you're a person who plays on PC or one of the older generations of the consoles, it's just not going to be as worth it. Even though I personally play on PS5, this is definitely probably the best vehicle that I have access to. However, I wanted to make this list a little bit more holistic for folks that didn't necessarily have access to the new-gen systems, especially my people on PC. A lot of y'all's PCs are way stronger than any PlayStation 5 could ever be, so it's a little bit weird that you guys don't have access to it, but I don't know, maybe that's punishment for all the modders. Moving right along to our number 1, thank you to everybody that's made it this far into the video. Our number 1 vehicle on today's list is going to be the Buffalo Bravado STX. Now, in my personal opinion, this checks every single box that we put on the list earlier. It's got really great speed, especially acceleration if you're able to master the wheelie. It looks really nice, replicating the most recent Dodge 392 Charger. Handling is probably its biggest weak point out of all the things that we mentioned, but for a muscle car, it's actually got pretty good handling, and that's probably the best handling out of any of the cars on this list. When it comes to this vehicle's defensive capabilities, this is really where it starts to shine and separate itself from some of the other vehicles on this list. The Imani Tech upgrade that it offers does similar things when it comes to rocket protection. It's going to give you protection against 4 RPGs, 12 homing rockets, 4 sticky bombs. But the thing that makes this the most special is what I believe to be the second most important portion of the Imani Tech upgrades. This vehicle has access to the bulletproof windows, which behind the missile lock jammer, this is the most important thing to have, especially if you're in a public lobby. In every single other vehicle on this list, if you drive past somebody with a regular machine gun, they're going to be able to laser you in 0.2 seconds. This vehicle will give you about 15 shots worth of protection, which is just enough for you to get out of the way. So for all the reasons that I mentioned, plus the fact that this is available on every single version of the game, I think it's only right that we give the number 1 spot to the Bravado Buffalo STX. I know there's going to be some disagreements in the comments, but I am open to discussion. I'm very interested to hear from you guys. What is your top 5? What are some of the factors that you find to be the most important? And as a bonus, what's your favorite overall car in the game? Maybe not the best. Thank you guys very much for watching. This is officially my first YouTube video, so I appreciate you guys' support. I appreciate you for making it this far. And if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and drop me a subscribe. We also go live pretty much every day on YouTube, hosting car meets, takeovers, drag races, cops and robbers, you name it. Join us up. Thank you for watching.